Well, since the tragic shooting of Alex Preddy on Saturday, the overwhelming mantra from lawmakers, both Democrat and Republican, has been quite simply, enough is enough. Calls have intensified for major reforms in how ICE agents are conducting operations in Minneapolis, Minnesota, for fear of another American citizen potentially losing his or her life amid the growing unrest. In an op-ed for the New York Times, New York Congressman Mike Lawler writing this: Congress and the president need to embrace a new comprehensive national immigration policy that acknowledges Americans' many legitimate concerns about how the government has conducted immigration policy. Americans are increasingly concerned about the Department of Homeland Security's enforcement operations, including in Minneapolis. Americans do not want chaos. They want a common sense, bipartisan solution. And we are pleased to be joined by Congressman Mike Lawler, who penned that. He also serves on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, what made you put this op-ed out? What triggered you the most about it?
Look, we can all acknowledge for 40 years we have been suffering under a broken immigration system, the failure for decades of both parties to secure the border, exacerbated under Joe Biden when he allowed over 10 million migrants to come into the country. Donald Trump promised to fix it, and by and large he has. He has effectively stopped illegal border crossings into the country. And I think the vast majority of Americans support that and are happy about it. In addition, he has won the argument on deporting criminal aliens. You now have Democrats saying that they support that when they wouldn't say that for decades. And obviously these sanctuary city policies, I think most Americans object to. But I think everybody can look and say, at the same token, we don't want to see anybody dying in the streets. We don't want to see conflict between Americans and federal law enforcement. Democrats have been stoking that, calling ICE the Gestapo, which is most assuredly not helpful and something that we should all push back against. But there needs to be greater cooperation. And I think yesterday's conversation between the president and Governor Walz and Mayor Frey was a positive step forward so that we can start to get cooperation between federal, state, and local officials. You saw it last night, finally, with the Minneapolis Police Department helping ICE push back against some of these protesters outside that hotel. That would have prevented a lot of this. You see the cooperation in other states and cities, and you don't have this conflict. So I think there's a lot of positive steps forward that need to be taken. But I fundamentally believe if we are going to fix the issue facing our country, not only did we have to secure the border, not only do we have to deport criminal aliens, but you need a path forward. The fact is that you have people that have been in this country 5, 10, 15, 20 years, whose children and grandchildren are American citizens, who are participating in the workforce. You're not rounding them all up and kicking them out. So my view is you need to have a path that is not citizenship. I want to be very clear about that. Not citizenship, but a legal path forward so they come out of the shadows, they pay back taxes, they pay a fine, they don't collect government benefits, which unfortunately is happening all over the country, and they get a job. And we start to fix this system that has been broken for 40 years. Doing nothing is not an answer. And just sending, ICE all across the country with these protests, with local law enforcement not cooperating in certain cities and states, it's not going to solve the overarching problem.